What's up, guys? Percocet Productions here today, and we're going to be ranking all of the Call of Duty Nazi Zombies maps, ranking them out from worst to best.
Now, for this list, again, it's going to be the same as our Wonder Weapon list. We're only going to be doing World at War through Black Ops 3. We never really played any after that or any of the ones in between to really worry about. So we're just going to be covering them. It's not fair to rank, a Black Ops 4 map with these if we didn't play them that much. It's just not fair. As another disclaimer, we're not ranking any other subsections of a map like on transit. We're not doing town, farm, bus depot. They are all considered transit. So there's nothing really that's going to say these subsections are better than the main map. It's just going to be the main zombies maps. And this also isn't going to be based on content because, Nocturne Toten is not going to hold up to Revelations in content terms. It's basically just going to be how we feel about it.
And I'm Jason.
I'm Ethan.
And let's get into the list. So, number 21 for me, the worst map of all time, it's gotta be none other than, it's Die Rise. It's Die Rise. Of course it's Die Rise. Die Rise, I mean, come on, man. Maybe it's because it came right after Transit. It was the first DLC map of Black Ops 2. First DLC map of Black Ops 2. Maybe it's because of that, but man, what a disappointment. If you were thinking we were going to get something good, no, you were heavily mistaken. It was not something good. I mean, the concept of a vertical map, good idea in practice, good idea in concept, not a good idea in execution. Not a great map at all. 21.
And I 100% agree because I put Die Rise at the same spot. And as a disclaimer for this, me and Jason have not seen each other's lists yet. We're just both letting them rip right now. And
yeah,
I gotta agree. Die Rise I thought was absolutely terrible. I hated the layout of it. I hated the whole design. I hated the Sliquifier. I have nothing good to say about Die Rise. Even the perk that they introduced was terrible. I hated Who's Who. I thought it was probably one of the worst zombies perks that was introduced in Black Ops 2.
yeah, awful perk, honestly.
I honestly thought that it was a disgrace of a map, personally.
All right, number 20 for me. I have a hot take for you. I have a spicy hot take.
Let's hear it.
Number 20 for me is Nuketown Zombies. Yes. Awful map as well. I mean, it was cool. It was cool to get Nuketown as a map. But when you're thinking of the zombies maps around Black Ops 2 time, you were thinking they were going to be great maps with very intricate like Easter eggs and fun things to do. But on Nuketown, all you got was jugs on like round 20 most of the time, and that's not fun at all. Small map, nothing to do inherently. Just
And,
a gameplay.
I 100% agree. I
Mm.
put Nuketown Zombies at number 20 as well. I honestly feel like Treyarch rode the bus with Nuketown a little too long. It's one thing to put it back in every Black Ops map because Nuketown is Nuketown. It's one of the best multiplayer maps they've ever made, and everybody loves it. That's why they have a Nuketown 24/7 mode in multiplayer all the time. But it was too small in my opinion for a zombies map. Like you said, there was no real Easter egg to go along with it. The one cool thing I will say, they established it takes place at the same time as Moon. And once you hit like round, I don't know, it was like 23 or something. It was some weird round. The zombie's eyes would change to blue for Richtofen.
That's cool.
And I thought that was a cool little thing. But that was probably about it. That was the only cool thing about the map. I hated the perks falling from the sky because I just kind of thought you get fucked.
Yeah. All right. Well, pretty identical list so far. Number 19 for me is Shadows of Evil.
And this is where we branch off.
Okay, there you go. Shadows. I hated Shadows when it first came out. I honestly hated the Gobblegums when they first came out. I like them now in retrospect, but
They really redeemed themselves compared to
yeah.
how they started.
Yeah, Shadows. I mean, I just thought it was really corny map. I did not like the map layout. I did not like uh starting in that little alleyway. I did not like how I did not like the Easter egg, did not like the Apothecary Servant at first. This map was really just all over the place, and the Magwars, whatever they're called, did not like them.
Margulas.
Margwas, that's right. Did not like them. It just took a whole different turn compared to where BO2 ended. Did not like Shadows at all. Awful map for me.
I will say the one interesting thing about it was at the end you basically kill Shadows. You kill the whole universe of Shadows of Evil when the end of the Easter egg.
Hmm.
Because Richtofen just comes in and takes the spear or whatever and just dooms their whole existence. Let's see. For me, at number, what was it, 19?
Yeah.
I had to put Nocturne Toten.
Wow. Okay.
And honestly, for me, I'm not comparing it to, like I said, I'm not comparing it to any others based on content. It's mostly just, it's bland. There's nothing to it. It's like 4 rooms. It was cool that, when it first came out because it was like a big thing. It was like, whoa, what is this mode that I just got dropped into? And they didn't expect it to go anywhere, so they made it about as basic as possible. And it was
Hmm.
cool, but I never really got into just playing it for fun.
Yeah.
And then what really rubbed me the wrong way with it was they went back and they added Mule Kick to it when they put Mule Kick into Black Ops 1. I thought that was the dumbest decision in the world because you have no other perks on there. Why should they have one other?
Yeah.
Just leave it the way it was, man.
Yeah, that's true. Well, number 18 for me is Transit. Our lovely Transit, our lovely, let's think about it. At the end of Black Ops 1, we got Moon, the epic thing that was Moon. Then you go to Black Ops 2, you're super excited and you get Transit, which was again, really cool idea in principle, very bad in execution. Transit was not a fun map a lot of the time. The only thing that was fun was riding the bus. It was almost impossible to pick up your teammates when you were in a different area. Not a great map, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually put Transit at number 18 as well. And for most of the reasons you said, it was it was too big for its own good. They tried too hard to make it too big. And part of the reason was the physical limitations at the time. That was the whole reason
Mm-hmm.
for the fog. That they literally said we couldn't do what we wanted, so we had to put the fog in there to make it, to make it seem like there's a lot more to it than there is. And it really is a shame because, like you said, we had Moon, and Moon was phenomenal, and the Easter egg had blown up the Earth. When we first load up that zombie screen and you see the scorched Earth, you're thinking, "Whoa, where the hell are we going? This is going to be cool." And then you load into Transit and you die by fire the first time you play because you don't know that you're going to die, and you have to build that stupid mannequin with a fan attached to the head as a generator.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, it was honestly a shame.
Number 17 for me is Verruct. Um,
Wow.
yeah, Verruct, pretty low for me. The worst of the World at War maps for me.
Really?
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool map. Not a bad map at all. Not awful, I would say, but not great. I do like the idea of 2 people starting in one area and 2 people starting in another area. That's fun. I don't think they ever really did that again. That was really cool and unique for the time. They introduced perks. That's a great thing that Varuk did as well. But overall, in terms of like the map design, it was just a bunch of hallways. Just a bunch of hallways. You didn't really have a great spot to camp if you wanted to. And I don't think the map really fit 4 people.
I can see that. It was, again, small.
Yeah.
And, they were still trying to find their footing. So that is
Hmm.
understandable that that's that low. For me, for number 17, I actually did put Shadows of Evil.
Okay.
And honestly, I did not mind Shadows of Evil. I actually didn't mind it. I didn't think it was a bad map. I enjoyed the layout. I mean, the Easter egg was hell. I hated the Easter egg. I didn't mind the, like, aesthetic. I actually kind of really dug the aesthetic. I love the one gun you could buy. I forget what the hell it was called, but it was like, what was it? Bootlegger or something.
Oh yeah. Okay. Think I
I
know what
actually
you're
really
talking about.
enjoyed that gun. I thought that was a really cool gun, and I liked the starting pistol, the revolver. I
Mm.
thought it was actually a really neat map, but they squandered their opportunity, and the characters are pretty forgettable. I only remember one was like a detective, and that's it. I don't remember any of the others.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't played it in a couple years, yeah, but it really just shows that there's nothing really that pops out about it, and it just wasn't good.
Yeah. Now, I guess this would be 16 for me. Maybe a hot take, perhaps, but I got five. I got five.
Uh,
Yes, I got five, very low.
wow.
It's cool playing in the Pentagon. It's cool being JFK. It's cool being Richard Nixon, or all those characters. But the map itself, I mean, so you got Kino and you got five to start out with, not including Dead Ops, which we didn't rank. And like comparing the two, five just doesn't hold up to Kino. Five is fun. You got the elevator. That's a cool addition. The opening room is maybe one of the most forgettable opening rooms, I would say. There's no real spot that you can go and train to. The weapon thief, or the Pentagon thief, that was a cool idea. Really cool idea there. But yeah, there was no real spot of the map that really felt like, oh, this is an awesome spot for me.
I see. I can understand all that. You know, it really wasn't. You know, like it wasn't on par with Kino. I'll admit that. And
Mm-hmm.
I also did forget to mention in the start of the video, we didn't rank Dead Ops Arcade or any of the Dead Ops because that's more of a arcade style game
Yeah.
than an actual zombies map. So for my number 16, this is probably a hot take, but
Oh shit.
I put Revelations.
Wow. Okay.
I did not like Revelations. I honestly felt like Revelations was kind of just it was basically a mix up of all the other maps, and I kind of felt it was unoriginal. You know, you had Verrückt, you had Shangri-La, Kino. I don't even remember what other map, but I just really did not like it. I did
Mm-hmm.
not like the Easter egg. I hated doing the Easter egg on Revelations. I don't even remember most of it because I kind of just zoned out because I was like, "Oh, fuck this. I just don't I want to get this done."
Mm-hmm.
We binged the Easter eggs that one summer to get them all done, and it was my least favorite, I think. I liked it even less than Gord Crovies.
Mm.
So that's my hot take for Revelations.
Okay. Well, I'll get more into that later. Number 15 for me is Knocked. Knocked a bit higher than yours. I love
Oh,
Knocked a little bit. I love camping on Knocked. It's a fun map to just not take too seriously and just to play for like, 20 rounds. Um, I did really like the Black Ops 3 remaster where they added the perk machine so you could get perks. I thought that was a lot of fun too. Um, and Knocked, yeah, for all the reasons you said, it does fall a bit short compared to the other maps in terms of enjoyment and stuff. No real box locations or anything. But I do still have a special place for Knocked.
I can understand that. It really was like one of the first maps we were introduced to, and it does hold a special place.
Mm-hmm.
For my number 15, I ended up putting Shinonuma.
Okay.
I personally have Shinonuma as my worst World at War map. It was cool. It introduced us to the Hellhounds. It introduced us to the Wunderwaffe. But I mean, the map itself, it was a cool aesthetic. The Nazi zombies were replaced by the Japanese zombies, which was cool, and they did run and walk different. That was actually really cool. Peter hanging and getting knocked down and killing you was a little bit of a shock at first that it was actually true, but I just I never really enjoyed the rest of the map. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I really like you said there was nowhere to really camp on, like that's one of my main things. I just don't see the spots to camp on this map, and
Yeah.
the water is annoying. The zombies coming out of the water really boxes you in sometimes depending where you're at. And
Yeah.
I just wasn't that big of a fan. The flogger was cool. I really wish we'd seen the flogger in something else because I thought it was cool as shit and I loved it. But that's
Yeah.
about all.
Yeah, that's actually number 14 for me, Shino Numa. For all the reasons you said, actually, it is a decent map, but it falls short on a lot of the things that would come later.
For
And
real. That's
yeah, that's
understandable.
really all I gotta say about Shino.
For my 14, I actually put Gorod Krovi.
Whoa. Okay.
I personally was never much of a fan of the layout of Gorod Krovi. I really felt claustrophobic. There was really only one open space, and I honestly just felt like we always got stuck camping at the one dragon spot by the
I know.
what was the machine's name? I can't think of her name.
I know what you're talking about.
But
Damn.
the one that was part of the Easter egg.
Hmm.
And honestly, that's the main reason I think I put it so low was the Easter egg. Black Ops 3's Easter eggs were some of my least favorite because of how complicated they got.
Wow. Okay.
Those I mean, they were cool and like the rewards were cool. Not that boss fight with Nikolai and the tech or and the mech robot was phenomenal. I mean, I remember we were all sitting on the edge of our seat, button mashing, trying to get that damn Easter egg done to see the cutscene. And then the cutscene was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But I just hated getting to that point. You know, the rest of the Easter egg sucked.
Yeah.
Introduced a cool gun, but that's about all. You know, the cool wonder weapon, but that's about all.
Okay. All right. Well, then number 13 for me. Be 13. Yeah, I think it is 13. Number
Yeah.
13 for me would be Call of the Dead.
Really? That low for you?
Yeah, I think the worst Black Ops 1 map. No, no, no. I guess that would be 5. But the worst of the DLC maps for me. Maybe it was because we weren't using the original crew. That was one thing that I didn't like. I think it's a good map. It's a decent map. I'm not gonna shame on it too much. Again, the wonder weapons weren't a lot of fun to use. They weren't my cup of tea. The ice freezing you wasn't really that cool. George always stalking you could get annoying sometimes. I think the map layout, there were only a couple places where you would really want to be and stay at for a lot of the time, and that was mainly
Right.
like in icy areas where there's a lot of open room to train. There was like that ship area which like nobody ever went to, barely you ever went into the lighthouse. A good
Right.
map, but not to the standards of BO1, I think.
Understandable. I can vibe with that. Leading into my number 13. I'm sorry, Jason. You're gonna hate me for this one, but I put Zetsuba all the
Okay.
way down at 13. I know you're secretly plotting my death, but I just I couldn't get into Zetsuba. I mean, I'll admit it was a cool map. You know, the area, it was cool to go somewhere else. It was cool to see, you know, a whole other side than what we were used to. But I just I never got into it. The KT4 wasn't really that good of a gun to me.
Hmm.
The Skull of Nansipui or whatever it was, I didn't like either. It and the what was it? The vine things? Is that what the like vine monsters that showed up
Like the
every now and then?
spiders.
There were the spiders, and then there were those big like creatures
Oh
made of like
yeah. Yeah.
grass and shit. And I
Yeah.
never liked them. And personally, I don't like spiders. So that's probably my biggest selling point here is I'm not a fan of spiders.
Spider map,
So
yeah.
so to have to fight spiders every 4 rounds, no, I'm good.
Yeah. I think your take is pretty popular, actually, to put Zetsuba there. It's not a
I
very
mean, I'll
popular
admit,
map.
I think that was the map that we survived the longest on because we sat in that one corner.
Hmm.
I think that was the map we had the highest round on, but I could never get into it.
Yeah. Well, number 12 for me is Revelations. I didn't put it that high. It's a decent map just for nostalgia purposes, but that's also why it's not a great map in my opinion. Um, too much reliance on nostalgia. I get the purpose. A lot of the time Treyarch does these ideas and they're cool ideas in principle, not the best in execution, and this is another one of them. And yeah, you already mentioned like a lot of my gripes with Revelations. Decent map. I like the concept, but not really like anything groundbreaking like it should have been, being the final map of BO3.
Yeah, I agree with that. And honestly, I really feel like the story ending was a big letdown.
Yeah, true. True.
For my number 12, I actually put Verrucht.
Whoa, okay. Pretty
I mean,
high.
you know, I did shit on you a little bit for Verrucht, but mine's not that high either. I did enjoy it. You know, on World of War, it was actually pretty cool to go back and play that and you know, like see the difference between that and Noct. Like they really made a lot of effort in this map compared to what it was. they saw they had something and they ran with it.
Yeah.
And speaking of running, they introduced the sprinting zombies.
True.
Oh my god, they were horrifying. You could just be sitting there with your back turned and there's a zombie 50 feet away from you, and the second you turn back, they're booking it. They're in your face.
Mm.
They were so fast for no reason. And it was a cool map with all the little Easter eggs, like you could use the drill, you could walk from the morgue to the back window and make an explosion, and there's the MG42 mounted under the fountain, the severed arm of Peter on the switch, on the power switch. It's cool, stupid stuff like that. But playability, I think, like you said, it's too small. There's not enough room. On Black Ops, they went back and put the Winter's Howl in it, which made the map even worse.
Yeah. Well, number 11 for me is Ascension. A really cool map. Really, really cool map. Honestly, would have been way higher if it wasn't for the monkeys.
I
Then,
knew that was going to be the gripe. That's
then,
the exact reason for mine being lower.
them taking your perks is just so annoying. It's just
Fucked.
the most annoying, probably the most annoying thing in zombies history is them taking your perk. Like, they would be a cool mini boss. I like the idea of them, but them taking your perks is just like, yeah, no, it's not. It's not good. But otherwise, the map is really cool. The Russian dolls are really cool. The Pack-a-Punch area, super cool. And the starting room thing that spun around and hit you and knocked you down, that was fun too. But
Yeah, 'cause we
overall,
always screwed with everybody with that.
yeah, good map. Stand 'em up was really needed on this map.
Oh yeah, for real.
Um,
So for my number 11, I gotta put 5.
okay.
I
Oh,
I enjoyed 5 at some points. Other points I hated it, but I guess it all depends how the game went. Because there were times where it was, times were great. Everybody was vibing in the main Pentagon room where the elevator is that goes down to the basement. And then that damn Pentagon thief comes and he takes your gun. And then, when everybody else is being retarded, you can't exactly kill him and you lose it.
yeah.
That was the main issue I had, was because, that was the prime time of when everybody would just screw around. And if you're trying to do good and he takes your gun and nobody kills him, that's it. It's gone.
yeah, yeah.
But I will
True.
say, the bonfire sale, very great power up, where it made the Pack-a-Punch like 1,000 points or something, or 100, whatever it was.
Mhm.
It like cut the cost drastically. That was cool. I wish we saw more of those in future games as like another reward to earn.
Yeah.
Like you said, the starting room, it wasn't that great. Besides, people used to do the table glitch and make it to like absurdly high rounds, and other than that, it just wasn't. It wasn't the cream of the crop, I think.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah. So our top 10 now we're breaking into. I got number 10 at Gorod Crovey, man. Yeah, Black Ops 3 maps, I actually feel like I love the Easter eggs and the maps overall. Super fun maps. Like I said, I hated the Gobblegums in the beginning, but by this point I was using them all the time. Gorod Crovey had the dragons, which was super cool. The super cool boss fight. They also introduced the Mark III, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Introduced the Mark III. The way to get to Pack-a-Punch, probably one of the most unique and coolest ways to get to Pack-a-Punch. The Easter egg did have a super annoying moment, which was like the bomb part where you had to like line it up. I forget what exact part it was, but there was a super annoying part in the Easter egg that made it very hard to do.
I know there were a bunch of them. The statues were always a pain in the
Yeah,
ass.
yeah. Statues, yeah.
I hated them.
But overall, I did enjoy Gerard Crovey, and I think the story of BO3 zombies just killing off the crew one by one made the maps even better.
I agree. I actually agree with that, because they always made the scene so like gut wrenching to watch.
Mhm.
Whereas in the Giant, Richtofen just comes out and pops himself. There's no hesitation. There's no build up. Nothing. You don't even feel bad. He's just dead.
Yeah.
That's something I also forgot to mention. We aren't ranking remasters of maps. So
Yeah,
like, we're not going to talk about the Giant compared to Duries because it's the same map just updated.
yeah, yeah.
So for my number 10, I actually put Ascension.
Okay.
And it's for all the reasons you said. Training in the one area with the lander by PhD Flopper was always the best spot to have. That was prime spot. It was a good location. The monkeys were the bane of my existence.
Yeah,
And the fact that they gave you a free perk, and if you're playing with random people or somebody that doesn't know better and they grab it, now you have to defend whatever perk you got. And it just made it hell. I will say, like Ascension was cool with all the cut content and stuff. Like supposedly there was supposed to be a fourth lander and Double Tap was supposed to be over there. And apparently you can see the outline of the Shadow Man in one of the windows in Black Ops Ascension. It was a cool like little Easter eggs to set up and stuff, but it just the monkeys are what really killed Ascension for me.
yeah. I guess that brings me to number 9, which I feel like is I don't know. I don't feel confident about putting this at number 9, but I guess that just goes to show how amazing the rest of the maps are. Number 9 for me is Moon.
What?
Um
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Number 9? Wow.
um yes. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Moon is a great map. Fantastic Easter egg. Fantastic Easter egg. The zero gravity's fun, but hey, come on. The astronaut man, great boss, but also a very annoying boss at times. Um, you know, you could also die when you got shot up in the air by those pads. That could happen
That's true.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Zero gravity. Also, like going back to Area 51 was super cool, but it also had some annoying parts to it where like, you could end up like leaving your friend, they would be screwed, they would be down, they would lose everything. Um Great map, great map. Honestly, wish I put it higher, but looking at all the other maps, I like them so much. And Moon just unfortunately falls a little short.
Okay. Okay. For my number 9, I actually put Call of the Dead.
Okay.
I actually really enjoyed Call of the Dead. The scavenger was a great gun to use. I didn't like the VR11. Sure, George annoyed the hell out of me because you couldn't really get rid of him. But I mean, at least you could. At least he was like slow enough to ignore. Like you could ignore him, and he didn't really disrupt gameplay too much. Like you said with Moon the astronaut.
Mhm.
You could get by him if he got mad. You just ran to water real quick, and that's it. Solved that problem.
Yeah.
But what I really enjoyed about Call of the Dead was the guest cast. I actually really enjoyed it. I like Robert Englund a lot. He's probably one of my favorite actors. Michael Rooker, he was in the prime of his time with The Walking Dead at that point. Um, then there was
Sarah
who else?
Michelle
Danny
Gellar.
Trejo, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Just some great names in horror,
Yeah.
and they really made the map for me. And it was cool to do the Easter egg with the main cast in that chamber. I
True.
actually did really enjoy it, and I liked the ship. I also like how they brought back the MP40 for the map because they knew that the MP40 was like a fan favorite.
Yeah.
So
True.
I'll leave that one at number 9.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I got number 8 as Kino der Toten.
Huh?
Yeah.
What the hell?
You're seeing a lot of my bias towards non
Wow.
BO1 and World at War maps, I think. Um hey, look, all right, like I got to say BO1 maps, they're great. They are limited by their time though. They are limited by their time, and Kino Kino's a fantastic map. Great map. It had the Bowie knife, which was fantastic. A lot of the area of Kino is really not used. You mainly only use the stage area. Teleporting for the Pack-a-Punch was fun. It's a great map. MP40 fun as well. Thundergun first debut there, and great map. But looking back, I feel like I have a lot of like nostalgia for it, and I had to push that aside for maps I had more fun on.
Understandable. I can understand. So for my number 8, I put Shangri-La.
Okay.
I really enjoyed Shangri-La. And there were times where I hated it, but that's just because of like the napalm zombie getting a cheap shot on you and blocking your path, or the shrieker coming in and fucking up your vision, and you're like you just can't see anything, and then you get screwed.
Mm-hmm.
But I genuinely enjoyed it. I love the shrink ray. I love the spike mores, especially. The spike mores were one of
Yeah.
my favorite equipment in any of zombies because they were so effective, and I just thought it was a good map.
Yeah.
If I'm No, I was gonna say I was thinking Deadshot was introduced in it, but Deadshot was Call of the Dead.
Yeah.
Shangri-La was still fun. The Easter egg was a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it was cool to do. How
Yeah.
you would switch between, air quotes Mars and Earth, since the common consensus is that Shangri-La is on Mars. But
Yeah.
it was fun.
All right. Well, number 7 for me is Buried.
Mm.
I love Buried. I actually deeply love Buried. I used to say it was better than Mom of the Dead. Um, but Buried is a super fun, easygoing, very simple map. You got the ghost room, you got the paralyzer, you got Leroy, you got so many things, the chalk with the weapons, so many things going for it. I mean, I think the first real great, fantastic map of BO2, like, I'm pretty sure, because it came after Die Rise.
No,
Um,
Mob of the Dead came after Die Rise.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, great map from BO2 and easy map, which is, sometimes you just want an easy, fun map. It should have gotten remastered.
Understandable.
Should have gotten remastered so many times.
Okay, I can vibe with that one. Number 7 for me is Der Eisendrache.
Okay.
I I really did like Der Eisendrache. I loved the bows. I loved a bow. I thought the storm bow was perfection. The Easter egg to get it was great. It wasn't, like you had to jump through 20 million hoops, but it also wasn't like you just touch a brick and then you get the arrow. It
Yeah.
was actually, it was a little fun to do. And the map itself is actually laid out pretty well. I really did enjoy playing on it. The Panzer Soldat wasn't that bad to deal with. He would come every now and then, but if he had the bows, you could fuck him up.
Yeah.
And the only area that really annoyed the hell out of me was the launch area, because if people were screwing around, you were fucked. You couldn't get out of there, and then you died.
Yeah.
But other than that, I would give Horizon Drop top notch.
Fair enough. I will go number 6 with Durice.
Mm.
Number 6, Durice. I wanted to build that up to make it sound like I was gonna go with Horizon Drop, but
I actually thought you were at first.
but
You
I
got
went
me on that one.
Derice. Derice is a great map. The catwalk is one of the best camping spots of all time. The traps were fun. I mean, honestly, one of the most like iconic layouts of a map. The opening room leading into the one big room, and then you get outside. Then you turn on the power, and then you got the catwalk unlocked, the teleporters. Great map, fantastic map. At this point in the list, it's not about like like, oh, what's wrong with the map. It's just which one is your favorite or better.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And that's where Derice lands for me, number 6,
Okay.
unfortunately.
All right. For me, number 6 had to be Buried.
Okay.
Again, nothing wrong with Buried. It was a really fun map. I really enjoyed it. The bank system was a little overpowered, I will admit, because all you had to do was survive, 30 rounds or 35 rounds, and you could put in 20 grand or 10 grand, whatever it maxed out
Hmm.
as in the bank, and then the next game you're basically cheating the system. But it was there, it was used. I did use it because it was there. The main thing I did really like about Buried was they introduced the what was it, the Colt Army revolver.
Mm.
It was like the 1860 revolver. I
Yeah.
I love that gun, especially Pack-a-Punch, man. That thing was a monster Pack-a-Punch. 12 shots. It did a lot of damage. It was probably one of my favorite guns to Pack-a-Punch in Black Ops 2. And I really did enjoy the map.
Yeah. Great map. Number
Very great map.
5 for me. Well, we're in top 5 now, actually. So these are the big boys, the hard ones.
Mm.
Number 5 for me is one that you touched on, Der Eisendrache. The bows are great. they're not as good as the staffs, but they're great. Darius and Drock took everything that was great from Origins and just did it again, which isn't bad. That's not bad at all because Origins was a great formula. Darius and Drock had an amazing Easter egg with Dempsey. I love training in the church. I loved like getting the bows. It was like a lot of fun just to do each bow.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, for all the reasons you said, Darius and Drock is a great map. Yeah, number
Uh,
5 for me.
yeah, I see that. Number 5 for me. See, we're the top 5 was so hard for me. These could probably be flipped anyway for me, but for number 5, I put down Moon.
Okay.
I really loved Moon. I loved the Easter egg. I loved getting all the perks, watching the world blow up. It was fun. The
Yeah.
only downside I had was the astronaut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the excavators were annoying, but they gave you plenty of time to stop them. It wasn't like you had 20 seconds to go and stop it once they initiated. You had like, what was it, 2 minutes, 3 minutes or something. That's more than enough time to get into the main room and stop them. And as long as you don't fuck yourself in the beginning and blow open the windows, you're fine. A lot of people don't like them, but I thought it was a cool dynamic to add to the map, especially when the biodome got punctured.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was better punctured.
Agreed. Number 4 for me is Zetsuba Neshima.
Hmm.
Zetsuba is, I think, a criminally underrated map on BO3. Like, a lot of people had it in their worst maps when it came out. I
When it
loved,
did come out, it was a pretty shitty map at first compared to what we did have. But in hindsight, it is better than what it was.
yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. I think the Easter egg was maybe the most fun of BO3 for me. And being able to be in that room with that super duper long hallway where you got max ammos all the time, you could just
Yeah,
the best camping spot ever. Like
for real.
easiest camping
Um,
spot, most fun. And the giant spider boss was the giant bosses in BO3 were fun. Um, even if a little creepy. And I like the startup of getting like you had those challenges you had to do and I like doing it. And I do like Zetsuba no Shima. Um even though it got a lot of
that's
hate when
fair.
it first came out.
Number 4 for me, I gotta say Mob of the Dead.
Wow, I thought that would be
I
like number 1 for you.
I was, like I said, top 5 could probably be arranged in almost any order.
Yeah.
But after thinking about it for a while and thinking about which maps I really invested a lot more time into, Mob of the Dead, it's got to be number 4 for me. I thought it was a phenomenal map. I love the Electric Cherry, love the Blunder Yet, love the Acid Yet. I love the Hell's Retriever. I mean, this map was packed to the brim with great shit. The characters were good characters. I loved them. I pretty much loved everything about this map. There was, a great spot to train in the cafeteria or on the roof. Like
Yeah.
there were plenty of places you could go. The map was actually very well detailed. The aesthetic was great. The Tommy gun. I I don't think I could find one bad thing with this map. The golden spork too, man. Almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
Golden spork was a hell of a weapon to use.
That is my number 3, Mob of the Dead. So we're pretty much in consistency there.
Yeah.
For all the reasons you said, Hell's Retriever, doing all the steps for the plane, going on the plane, pack a punch, and the Easter egg, fighting your own team. Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome
Yeah.
stuff.
Forgot about that.
And yeah, Mob of the Dead, 10 out of 10 map. There are some maps better than it, but 10 out of 10 map for sure.
I agree. Number 3 for me, I had to put Origins. I
Okay.
really loved Origins. I thought it was great. I love the tank. I love the trenches. I love the staffs. I love the weaponry. They really went hard with Origins. They made up for every mistake they made with Transit and Die Rise in one map with Origins. The staffs are some of the best weapons to use. The fact that you can revive people with them, that's even better. The Origins was just jam packed with shit, and it was a very good map. I have no complaints about it, except for the fact the ice staff was shit.
Yeah. Well, number 2 for me, is Shangri La.
Oh, you put Origins at number 3 too?
No,
Oh.
Origins is above.
Oh, we did your number 3 already.
Yes, yes.
My bad, my bad.
So yeah, Shang is 10 out of 10 map for me. Maybe the most difficult map out of all the maps, which a lot of people didn't like about it at the time. But man, I loved camping on the bridge, two people on
Same.
each side. Like camping, it's super easy when you can camp on one, long hallway or walkway and everybody's looking the same way. It gets really intricate when you have two people each way and they have to like guard their own positions because if it falls apart, you're all dead. Um,
Yeah,
that's what
for
made
real.
Shangri-La so fun. I love the map. It's the most beautiful map, even on Black Ops One's awful graphics now. It's the most gorgeous map. The Easter egg is the most intricate, but also well, not the most intricate probably now, but the most intricate at the time, and it was super fun. Getting to the Pack a Punch, awesome. I love Shang. I can't talk about it enough, and that is my number two favorite map
I
ever.
agree. You know, the whole watching the bridge from two sides, you know, you'd have to be spot on with your reloads. You know, you
Yeah,
couldn't fall behind for a second or else you were getting swarmed. But
yeah.
that was the best place to camp. For me, for number 2, I had to do Kino.
Wow.
I really loved Kino, man. I loved it. The the only downside I have about Kino is the alleyway. The alleyway was, to me at least, I know a lot of people actually do like to camp in the alleyway, but for me, I thought it was a death sentence. I
Wow.
hated having to go into the alleyway. I hated anything about it. But otherwise, solid 10 out of 10 map, no doubt. The aesthetic is phenomenal. I remember the first time I played Black Ops 1 Zombies, and I didn't know what I was doing because I was in school, and I went to the darkest window in that one corner, and the first time a zombie just showed up out of nowhere, it scared the shit out of me. And from there, I was hooked on it. You know, I loved Kino. I loved the MP40 Thunder Gun. The Bowie knife. I just
Yeah.
phenomenal map.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Our lists are very different than in
Yes,
the
they
in the
are.
top. Um, Number one for me is of course Origins. I cannot say enough amazing things about Origins. I think it's the best map ever by far. Like when I thought of my list, I already had Origins at number one. And after coming together with my list, I reaffirmed it. Origins had like the most things to do without it becoming overwhelmingly stupid. Like
Right.
a lot with
Yeah.
BO3 kind of got dumb sometimes. Origins was perfectly right in the middle. Everybody had their own missions to do. Everybody had their own things to do. You had that punch that you had to level up. There were so many
Yeah.
things to do. You could not get bored playing Origins. That's why I think honestly it's the map we played the most throughout our time playing. Like we would play it over and over again. I remember and
Yeah,
just
I don't think we ever really got bored of Origins. I think anytime somebody wanted to play Origins, it was like, okay, cool, let's do it.
yeah,
Because really was so much to do. Every game could be so different.
love that map.
I agree. I do agree. It could have been number 1 for me, but number 1 for me, it was hard choice. It had to be Doriz.
Okay.
I have been a Doriz fanboy ever since I first played it. You know, I got World at War, bought all the map packs when I was younger, like almost right after I got Black Ops 1. And we went back and played it, and I was in love. I
Yeah.
loved everything about Derice. I love the camping spot, the Wonder Waffle. I love the aesthetic. You know, looking out across that one area by the one teleporter and seeing the guy hanging, seeing the guy in the vat.
Mm.
The Easter egg song was phenomenal. Hellhounds. Everything about the map to me was great, especially getting, you know, like you got the MG42 or you got the PPSH. You were just mowing zombies. It has to be hands down for me number 1.
Yeah, actually, at first I was like, I don't know about that, but the more I think about it, Origins does have it's the most perfect like map for the time, and it's like just I mean, the most iconic maybe. It's
For
a
real.
it has
Like
everything.
anytime you think about zombies, one of the first things you would think about is something to do with Derice, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that is our list. Let us know how different your personal list is and what you thought of our list. I'm sure that there's a lot of controversial takes in here. And
There's quite a few.
let us know if there's anything else you would like to see. But yeah, that is it for us on this one.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you see, make sure to like and subscribe. We'll be pumping out some videos here shortly.
All right, peace out.
Adios.